adventure, and by the time they realized the true horror, it was too late. So began one of the most terrifying encounters with forces beyond our comprehension, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal themselves. You won't want to miss this one. On the night of January 3rd, 2008, a 21-year-old man named Andrew was sitting in his apartment feeling completely bored. And so he picked up his phone and called his two friends, Stephen and Barry, to see if they wanted to go explore somewhere. Now, of course, his friends were immediately interested.
Yes,
but they asked Andrew where exactly they should go. And that's when he told them he had the perfect spot in mind. You see, Andrew lived right next door to this old abandoned farm. And this wasn't just any farm. He had actually been there on a field trip back in elementary school where they got to see all the animals and learned about parks and crops.
I'm recording Jacoby. I'm recording him.
Hard times, just a bunch of financial problems, and basically forced the owners to shut everything down. And now it just sat vacant and
Getting recorded.
Andrew never saw anybody around there anymore. And so he figured this would be a perfect place for him and his friends to check out.
Shut the hell up.
He wasn't looking to vandalize anything. He just wanted to see if this place would be worth exploring. And since he'd been there before and literally grew up right next to it, he felt pretty confident there wouldn't be any dangerous surprises. Being extremely excited, he just called his friends and told them to meet them there at his place ASAP. And so shortly thereafter, they all showed up, and the three of them headed down the road towards this abandoned farm. But right away, something felt off. Andrew had driven by this place, and he was certain that nobody was taking care of it anymore. But on this night, as they looked at all the sheds and other buildings, everything looked to be in surprisingly good shape.
Sends off like that.
Oh
yeah, it does.
Besides some overgrown weeds here and there, the buildings looked almost exactly like they did back when he visited elementary school. And that wasn't even the strangest part. His friend Barry, who had seen his...
This could actually be really good to watch a movie or two.
Something else that didn't add up. Usually, when a place sits empty this long, it becomes a magnet for partiers and squatters. But during the time they walked around shining their phone lights, there wasn't a single beer bottle or piece of trash anywhere. I mean, it was pretty spotless, like someone was maintaining it. But Andrew knew that wasn't possible. So the three of them were just standing there in the middle of the farmyard, looking in all the directions, trying to figure out which one to explore first. Andrew had actually forgotten how big this place was. I mean, they could literally spend all night checking out all the different structures if they wanted to. And as they were sitting having conversation, debating about which building to enter first, they heard this sound.
I'm recording Jacoby.
They couldn't tell exactly what it was, but
I'm recording him for hours.
Some animal that knocked over some old equipment or something. Not a big deal, but
I'm
they
not.
definitely weren't going to start with that building.
I'm not.
He's recording me.
He's not. Now sit down. Start taking themselves on this kind of self-guided tour of the property. It was fascinating. Andrew had expected all the buildings to be empty, but each one still had all the farming equipment exactly where it had been.
Stop looking at my phone.
As they explored more and more, Andrew just got this sinking feeling. This didn't look like a thriving business that had collapsed due to financial problems. It looked more like everyone and everything had just vanished overnight. And so he told his friends that it reminded him of a ghost town. Andrew and his buddies had been drinking Monster Energy drinks while they were exploring, and even though they weren't going to vandalize anything, they didn't think twice about littering. So after Steve finished his drink, he crushed the can, dropped it on the ground, and Andy did the same thing not long after.
Why is he just playing the phone?
Then they felt this, well, it wasn't exactly...
I'm watching Ninjago.
like something had
I'm watching Ninjago.
through the air, moving parallel to where they were walking, and this startled them. So Andrew, Steve, and Barry immediately huddled together, pulled out their phones, and started shining their lights around. Because remember, at this point, they were pretty vulnerable, just sitting around talking. They didn't really have their phones out yet. They were kind of deciding what to do. And now, as they're looking around, there was nothing there. And crazier,
This is such a good movie. Oh, I love this movie.
behind them were now gone. It made no sense. Maybe that gust of wind had somehow blown them away, but it didn't seem nearly strong enough to do that. And so he grabs his friends and he's thinking like, guys, all right, let's think rationally here. Cans don't just get up and walk away. So what's happening? Are we experiencing some sort of group delusion? Like, what's going on here? And so they're like, you know what? We're gonna conduct a little experiment. And so they kept walking around the property, and every now and then, one of them would drop something on the ground, like a candy wrapper or some pocket change. And without fail, within minutes, once they were a few dozen feet away, there was that same sensation of something rushing past them, always just out of view. And every time they took out their phone lights, the trash was gone. Now this happened a few more times until Barry screamed, because this time he had caught something. Remember that this farm is supposed to be completely abandoned. Andrew has never seen any cars here at night. He's never seen a single person here at night. But now Barry swore that he had
Jacoby doesn't have his tablet. You didn't have your tablet. You didn't have your tablet.
It's getting fixed.
All three of them
Why?
definitely spooked, but they're not completely terrified yet. Andrew suspects that.
Are you serious? How'd you break it?
Wind and shadows and maybe some old chains, right? There is a rational
Yes, you do.
explanation to all of this. They start heading back towards the barn, and just inside, it might as
Then
well be
what
flat.
happened to it?
Because very little of the moonlight made it more than a few feet past the entrance.
Decline.
So all three get out their phones, turn on their flashlights, and immediately see that they are surrounded by around half a dozen figures. Immediately terrified, they realize that these are all just the remains of old scarecrows. They all look pretty worn down with holes in their burlap bodies, letting bits of straw spill out, and each figure is leaned up against either side of the barn, staring at the three intruders in the middle. Andrew starts panning his phone light across their faces, and then he stops. One of them looks different. Part of the cloth face looks like it's wet. In fact, it almost looks like there was a stream of water that had soaked the face underneath each eye, almost like it had been crying. Andrew, completely blown away by what he was seeing, just
Jacoby's double chin. Jacoby is double chin. How'd your iPad break? How'd it break? What?
I drew it on it.
Why would you do that? Did you like smash the pen into it or something?
Stop it.
Why did you do that to your tablet? Why'd you do it?
I'm going to make him hair growth. Hair growth is hanging
Why'd you do that to your iPad? Why'd you do it?
Stop, Callum! Stop!
I'm not doing anything.
You're explaining me.
What do you mean explaining you?
You're killing me. You're killing me.
I'm not. Okay, I'm gonna have a nap.
What?
I'm having a nap.
Are you serious? You're just giving up?
What do you mean I'm giving up?
You're giving up on questioning me.
I'm not questioning you.
Yes, you are.
How?
I'm ignoring you.
But I'm asking how you're questioning me.
Wow.
Stupid double chin.
Let's go. What?
Stupid double chin.
Are you talking to Lloyd?
No, I'm talking to you.
You're
Go
talking
away, go away, call him now.
Why?